Hello, I'm Kirsten Hildebrand Law Firm, and I have probably sat down with you and completed estate planning. And I'm so grateful to have been able to have that process completed with you. It is truly a joy for me and for the rest of Hildebrand Law Firm to be able to bring you to the place where you have created an estate plan with your instructions and your desires listed, so that then things will run way more smoothly now for you than if you had not moved forward with that all-important step. We feel like we're a really important partner with you, and I like to say that now you're part of the family. And so as part of the family, we're always thinking about how we can continue to encourage you to walk through the next stage of your life. One of the important stages of life that is really important to acknowledge and then also participate in is the desire to bring another asset to the table and pass it on to the people that we love. And that asset is your hard-earned wisdom. A lot of people don't think about what lessons we have learned in our lifetime, but it is very important to consider not only those lessons, but then also how do we pass those lessons on to the people that we love, that we are also leaving our estate to. You have gotten a letter from me regarding the wealth of wisdom that you have to pass on. And you've also received some thoughts in that letter about how you might start to think about the wisdom that you have obtained during your lifetime and how you might pass that on. And you've also gotten a piece of paper or two that allow for you to write on that document the pieces of wisdom that you think are most important to give to your family members or loved ones or people that you cherish. I strongly encourage you to do this activity. I can't tell you how beautiful it was for me to receive from my mom documents where she had little pieces of information here, there, and everywhere. It was everything from, there's a really good secret, and that is if you use bleach and baking soda in your porcelain sink, it will take out everything. Well, that's a really helpful piece of wisdom that I did not know. And then everything from that to really important spiritual conclusions that she has come to, and then comforting thoughts like, remember, it is so important to stay in communication with the people that you love. Every time you do that, it is completely worth it. So these are the sorts of pieces of wisdom that you can start thinking about. And what I find so interesting is that the way my mom communicated her hard-earned wisdom to me is totally different than the way you may communicate your wisdom to the people that you love. And that is the value of doing this yourself. There's no way that anybody can go onto the internet and do a search for what wisdom would my mother, or what wisdom would my father or my aunt or my uncle or my sibling have for me if they were to pass away. There's no way that Google can ever duplicate the specific, unique wisdom that you have developed as a result of your life experiences. And so to write that down is a true gift. And so please take a look at the letter that I sent and start to think about what pieces of wisdom you might be interested in writing down on that document. And I would encourage you to keep the document handy for several days, weeks, even months, because you may think of things in passing that you hadn't thought of before that all of a sudden becomes an excellent idea and something that you can jot down on the Wealth of Wisdom worksheet that you have received from Hildebrand Law Firm. When you feel like you are done with that, then put it in your big red binder, because that is where your loved ones will go. And then they will have a really unique and beautiful communication from you that they probably weren't expecting, that will just warm them in a totally wonderful way. And so that is what I would ask for you to do as your next stage. Now, some of you may be thinking, I have all of this wisdom, but I'm not really sure that it's going to be something that my family members or my loved ones or the people that I'm remembering in my estate plans would really necessarily appreciate. Or maybe you're thinking, this is so good that I wish I could share this with a larger audience. And that is what we would invite and ask you to do, is once you write down your wealth of wisdom, if you feel comfortable, feel free to send it into Hildebrand Law Firm, and we will use it in our newsletter so that we're passing that wisdom on in a more public forum that then will allow for other people to really glean that those precious gifts that you are choosing to pass on. There's nothing so beautiful as being able to pass on knowledge, advice, and experience to people that will then take it, hear it, and then maybe even change the course of their life or their decisions that they make, because you gave that to them. And that is so important. So thank you so much for participating in this activity. I just think it's really important to understand how great it is that you have had life to be able to learn those lessons and then be able to pass them on with your wisdom. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon.